Hello everybody, Happy New Year. It's January 20th, 2022, and I'm relaunching my YouTube channel. I'm Rachel Ray Nicole, and I'm really excited about this upcoming video. I hope everybody's been safe with the quarantine and the pandemic. If you got vaccinated, I hope you were safe and I hope you had no side effects. I'm personally vaccinated because of my job. 2020 was rough for all of us. 2021 was a little shooken up a little bit, but 2022 we gonna be better, y'all. I promise y'all. So we gonna stick it together. So I'm ready to start my video. So just be patient with me. I'm a little nervous. I ain't been out there in a while, but here we go. Today's topic is gonna be talk about ADHD. ADHD peeps. Nah, I'm just playing. But on some real stuff, my first two YouTube videos went back in 2020 when I launched my channel was my intro and then my talk about bipolar. Well, today I'm going to talk about ADHD because that's my second diagnosis. I realized that I want to go through on a journey with my mental health issues and put it on paper as well as put it on video. So just bear with me. I hope you guys got my back like I got y'all's, and we're going to go work through this together. All right, y'all, I'm back. I want to talk about ADHD. So what is ADHD? ADHD is attention deficit hyperactive disorder. And a lot of people have it. I do. I have it. I was diagnosed with ADHD when I was 15. I was a sophomore in high school. And it's a mental illness that affects the way you act and focus. I know many of you growing up with me noticed I was very hyper, I was very energetic, I was kind of flighty, talkative, all the above. I remember the name call and I remember everybody looking at me like, girl, Rachel, she always so excited and extremely I was all over the place. Even in my early adult years, I kind of was very just too hyper for my own good. And that's because I have ADHD as well as bipolar, but the ADHD kind of manifests a lot. It can cause problems in your adulthood, which it caused problems in mine. The symptoms of ADHD are an inability to focus, being easily distracted, hyperactivity, poor organizational skills, and impulsiveness. And not everyone who has ADHD has these symptoms. It varies, but I had a lot of those. And to be honest, guys, I never received the treatment I needed. As a sophomore in high school, I'm like ADHD, whatever. I'm just a hyper teenager, like it is what it is. But I really wish I would have sought help back then. Maybe, hopefully, by my adult years and my almost mid 30s, I'd have been better off by now. But I'm not gonna dwell about it. It is what it is. It's the past. I'm gonna keep moving forward. Bullying. I've been called every name in the book, from retarded to slow to eccentric to weird to lame to quirky to geeky, nerdy, corny, fake, phony. I even called a bitch. I even called a hoe. It is what it is. Blah, 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 blah. For years, guys, that bothered me because I'm like, leave me alone. I'm human. I have feelings. I cry, I get angry, I get sad. I was sickly living in pain. I would hide my pain behind my smiles. I'm known on social media for my big smile. But behind closed doors, I was crying myself to sleep every night. I wanted to just be considered normal. But exactly what is normal? Unfortunately, I can't control my genetics. I can't control what has even been passed on down to me through my gene pool. And people can be cruel, especially to mental health issues. Unfortunately, in the Black community, and I hate to sound racist, we're not sensitive to mental health. We feel that it's a stigma, and we feel like it's not real. We feel like stop acting like there ain't nothing wrong with you. Snap out of it. Sometimes it's just really not that easy. I was living a depression, and when you're depressed, anybody that's been depressed before knows how that goes. You just don't want to do anything. You're like a zombie, just going through the motions. You're not really living your life. I've been through so many things with my depression issues, such as suicide watch, hospitalizations, everything you can think of, I've been through because of my mental health issues. People always say, girl, you ain't been through nothing. What's wrong with you? You didn't have to want for anything. Your lights were never cut off, blah, 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 blah. Yes, that's true, and I know I'm blessed. But my mental health issues have gotten the best of me for years, and I never really understood how to help myself. So that's when I say I've been through a lot. I would experience social anxiety in public where I was so overwhelmed and I would just bust out in tears. So people with mental health issues, be a little patient with them because it's not always easy. It's not always just a light switch you can flip on and off like, okay, snap out of it. Because it's not. It's difficult at times. For years, I hated myself. I'm like, I want to be normal. I want to not be so talkative. I want to not be so hyper and excited and not have racing thoughts, rapid speech, not stumbling over my words. I'm very intelligent and I feel like my mental illness was getting the best of me. And for years, I just was resentful. I wasn't taking care of myself. I just didn't care. I'm like, whatever. I'm slow anyway. It is what it is. And so I had to realize, Rachel, no, you're not slow. You have a mental illness. And mental illness has nothing to do with intelligence. You're not remedial. You're not retarded. Well, retarded girl gets a college degree. And I have a dual diagnosis. I have bipolar 1 disorder and I suffer from ADHD. And it's not like I woke up one morning like, oh God, yo God, let me talk to you and rap with you for a minute. I want to have ADHD. I want to be bipolar 1. I want to drive people insane. I want to get on people's nerves. I want to be annoying. Who asks for stuff like that? Unfortunately, it just develops. And mental illness is real. It's very real. And unless you've experienced it, try to be a little more considerate. ADHD does not get worse with age if a person receives the treatment that their symptoms after receiving a diagnosis, and that wasn't the case for me. I never received treatment. It was kind of swept under the rug because my bipolar was so bad when I was about 17 years old, my senior year of high school. They treated the bipolar and have been treating the bipolar for years. I just had to deal with ADHD the best way that I could. Unfortunately, with my dual diagnosis, when I'm manic, my ADHD is like, woo, woo, woo. And when I'm depressed, my ADHD is calm. And because I fluctuate so many times between my mania and my depression, you can't really, unless you're around me long enough, my ADHD doesn't really manifest. It's when I'm manic and I'm excited about things that you can tell, oh, she got some ADHD going on. And people have gotten turned off of that. I mean, I'm very intuitive. I'm very in tune with myself and I know what was going on. But I was doing the best that I could. Stress can trigger mental illness, and my stress amplified mine. I was dealing with so much and have been dealing with so much for years. I literally was crying out for help, and I felt like no one was listening. I had stress come from every angle, from my personal life, my family life, social life, work life, finances, my self-esteem, and it overpowered me. You name it, I was going through it. And I never could talk to anybody because I was ashamed. I was embarrassed. I was like, how do I tell people I have a mental illness? How do I explain to people that I'm scared that I'm not going to be able to function successfully and not ever get married and never have kids and never be able to function normally in society? Who wants to admit that they have an issue? I know I definitely didn't want to admit it. I'm like, ain't nothing wrong with me. Ain't nothing wrong with me. It's y'all. Like, no, Rachel, you need to take care of yourself. You need to go see a doctor. You need to get on some medication if necessary. You'll have holistic treatment. But you need a little help because your mind races too fast and your behaviors are peculiar. People would always just be like, snap out of it. Stop acting like that. Stop acting slow. Stop looking crazy. Or stop being dramatic and stop attention seeking. First of all, ain't that much acting in the doggone world for me to pretend that I have an illness when I don't. So I know I'm dramatic. I don't like to act. I love making goods. My girl, Halle Berry, you name it. Leo's in the house. But no, I was not attention seeking. I really was going through things. What causes ADHD? Statistics show that young adults who were exposed to moderate abuse/neglect during adolescent years had higher odds for ADHD compared to those who were not victimized. Also, in addition, young adults who were exposed to severe abuse/neglect in adolescent years had higher odds. Let's just say I dealt with some things as a child, maybe not as severe as most, but I definitely was extremely bullied, and that really impacted me. Studies also show that children who experience family and environmental stressors and traumatic experiences are more likely to be diagnosed. Not trying to put my business out there, but I definitely was dealing with some things back in the day, and I know I'm going to get better. That's all that matters. ADHD is severe mental illness associated with major impairment, and undiagnosed ADHD in adulthood has serious consequences. So yes, I was diagnosed at 15, but I was never treated for it until now. So I'm thankful. I'm so thankful. There's light at the end of the tunnel. Yes, it's been a rough roller coaster ride, tornado, tsunami, hurricane, fire, thunderstorm, volcano. Y'all get the picture. But I'm finally calm. I'm at peace. I've accepted my dual diagnosis. The Lord is real, y'all. Through this little back and forth on social media, me going back and forth to so many doctors, being on so different medications, I always had faith in God. I said, God, you will never leave me. You'll never forsake me. That's in the word. And I know my name, like I said in my first YouTube video, my name Rachel's in the Bible. Rachel means innocent lamb. So oftentimes when your name means something, I have a very pure spirit, I have a very pure heart. I never said I was an angel. But as far as purity, I can consider myself pure. My last name is Thomas, Rachel Thomas. But Thomas in the Bible was a doubter, a self-doubter. And a lot of times I kind of doubt myself. But that stops. That stops today. The Lord is real. I have faith in God. I'm going to be okay. I'm going to overcome this obstacle. I'm going to function normally. I'm going to be successful. And I'm going to be all right. And people ask you, what kept you going, Ray? Like, you were driving yourself crazy. You were embarrassing yourself on social media. You were doing this. You were doing that. What kept you going? God. The Lord is real. The Lord is real. The Lord is real. I sing a little bit. I ain't no singer, but I will sing a little gospel song when I'm a little nervous. But Jesus loves me. Oh, yes, he does. Jesus loves me. Oh, yes, he does. Jesus loves me. Oh, yes, he does. For the Bible tells me so. I know that was all right, but the Lord is real, y'all. So I love y'all. Please stay tuned. I have some upcoming videos. I'm very excited. But yeah, your girl Rachel has ADHD, bipolar, but ain't gonna manage me no more. I'm gonna manage it. Deuces.